Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a teaching guide that is honestly an absolute game changer for classroom prep. If you're an educator, you know the drill. Finding the time to create perfectly tailored materials for every single student, it feels literally impossible most days. But let's dive into how NotebookLM can totally streamline that whole workflow for you. Because, right, it's the classic teacher dilemma, the question that keeps so many of us up at night. How exactly do you differentiate instruction without having to recreate every single lesson from scratch? Every student sitting in front of you has completely diverse needs, but, well, there are only so many planning hours in a day, and your time is precious. We've got to make it count. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to start with turning one resource into multiple paths and then master the perfect prompt. After that, we'll move chronologically, introducing your new lesson, differentiating for small groups, extending student learning, and finally, getting all those resources organized. Let's get right to it. Starting off with Section 1, one resource, multiple paths. The contrast between the old way of doing things and the NotebookLM way brilliantly illustrates the massive shift we're talking about here. Think about the old way. Building entirely new, separate lessons to accommodate different learning styles, that comes with an incredibly high time cost. It's exhausting. But the NotebookLM way, you take one single resource. Maybe it's a textbook chapter, a great article, or a video transcript, and you create multiple access points into the exact same learning goal. And the time cost is minimal. You are no longer starting from zero for every single group of students. And that brings us to this absolutely crucial takeaway from the guide. Differentiating curriculum doesn't mean that you have to recreate lessons. Wow, that is such a powerful insight, right? Your instructional objectives, they stay exactly the same. You're simply adjusting how your students access the material based on their unique abilities and learning styles. It's all about working smarter, not harder, to really support their success. Moving right along to Section 2, mastering the perfect prompt. Now, you might be wondering if you need to be a tech wizard for this. You don't. You absolutely do not have to be a tech expert to get amazing results. You really just need this simple three-step formula. First up, provide context. NotebookLM needs to know what your overarching goals are. Second, get specific about format or numbers. If you want a vocabulary list, tell it exactly how many terms you need, or if you're asking for an infographic, specify how many concepts to include so things don't get all cluttered. And third, just use the chat feature to refine those results until they're perfectly dialed in. Okay, actually scratch that. This next part is my absolute favorite. This is a fantastic pro tip. If you are sitting there staring at a blank screen and you're totally unsure of how to write an effective prompt, just ask the chat feature to do it for you. The source gives a brilliant example. Let's say you upload a textbook chapter. You can literally ask chat, hey, I want to create a report that only includes a list of essential questions to accompany the student text in this document. Help me write that prompt. And once it hands you a great prompt, you just feed it right back in to generate your customized report. Pure magic. All right, Section 3, introducing your new lesson. So before your students even dive into a new unit, you can easily create these fantastic access points to get them hooked. You can generate a short slide deck that previews the key concepts and vocabulary. You can use the custom reports feature to pull a targeted set of guiding questions. And those guiding questions, they're amazing because they provide such crucial scaffolding for students who might need just a little extra support before they tackle reading independently. Plus, of course, you can generate clean, super clear infographics to visually introduce the whole lesson. Next up is Section 4, differentiating for small groups. By utilizing the chat feature, you can actually modify the original student text for different reading abilities. Remember, the core learning goal hasn't changed one bit. Everyone is accessing the exact same content, but it's been specifically adjusted for their current level of understanding. To me, this is what true inclusion looks like, giving everyone a seat at the table without watering down your curriculum objectives whatsoever. But wait, it goes way beyond just text. You can generate video overviews of your lesson, and here's the absolute best part. They're available in multiple languages. Talk about an incredible resource for your English language learners. Plus, you can even ask the chat to brainstorm offline strategies for your small groups. Think hands-on learning ideas or specific vocabulary games that align directly with whatever content you uploaded. Which leads us directly into Section 5, extending student learning. What makes these resources so profoundly powerful is the interactivity. You can generate audio guides. Think of them like mini podcasts about your lesson. But get this, students can actually use an interactive feature to pause the recording, ask a question, seek clarification, and express their thoughts in real time. It's like having a tutor right there. You can also generate custom flashcards where students track their correct and incorrect responses to really focus their practice. And you can create interactive mind maps, which are fantastic for helping them visually connect ideas from current lessons all the way back to previous ones. And when it comes time for test prep, you can generate completely customizable quizzes. You get to choose from 3 different difficulty levels. But the real magic is in the prompting here. You can tell it to focus heavily on just one specific area of the content. That way, you perfectly tailor a review session right before a big upcoming unit test. Section 6. Organizing your student resources. Let's bring it all together. So the crucial point here is understanding the difference between your sharing options. Shared links, like just dropping a URL into your learning management system, those are great for simple one-off activities. But building a student-facing shared notebook, that is where the real magic happens. A shared notebook gives your students a centralized space for a whole unit of study. And more importantly, building that notebook is actually required to ensure that advanced interactive features, like the audio support and timelines, function properly for them all in one single place. Now, a very quick logistical heads up. While free accounts offer plenty of generations for text and audio, there are daily limits on visual components. We're talking specifically about things like video overviews and infographics. So a great workflow tip: just plan ahead. Spread the creation of your visual materials out over a few days so you don't accidentally hit that daily limit right when you need the materials the most. Looking at the big picture, the real overarching value of this platform is right here. Keep the same instructional goals at the center of instruction. Whether you're teaching kindergartners or high school seniors, it allows you to create multiple pathways into learning, all while keeping those exact same instructional goals firmly rooted at the center of your classroom. Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative thought pulled directly from our source material today. How will you use NotebookLM to support the unique needs of your diverse classroom? You now have the blueprint to take a single text and turn it into a multi-sensory, highly differentiated learning experience. And you can do it without working completely through your weekend. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer today. Now go out there and build something absolutely amazing for your students.